Hello students. So today we are going to start the sixth chapter of our literature book, and the name of the chapter is A Bond for Life. Fine. And this chapter is on page number 48 of your literature book. So let's get started with the chapter. Fine. So let's get a brief intro about the chapter, that what the chapter is about, and we are going to study about whom. So let's get started. Chapter 6, A Bond for Life. American author, activist and lecturer Helen Keller was the first deaf-blind person to receive a Bachelor of Arts degree. So basically this chapter is about, you can say, Helen Keller, and she was you can say an American author as well as activist, social activist and lecturer. And the most important, or you can say the biggest achievement she achieved in her life was that she, even though she was, you can say, blind as well as deaf, then also she, you can say, received you can say that with her determination, the hard work that she did, and after that she paid a lot. Fine. And finally she received a Bachelor of Arts degree. That means you see, even though at that time she was, we don't have so many resources and all, then also she overcome from, you can say, her disability. Okay. And she did a hard work, you can say a hard work, and finally she overcome from all those inabilities, and she received, you can say, her graduation degree. And although although she was blind and all, then also see how, what kind of determination was in her. She was, social activist, she was a lecturer, and then she was an author also. See how she's overcoming from her disability, and what she did with her hard work, she overcome from all these things. Fine. She lost her eyesight and hearing after mysterious fever struck her when she was 19 months old. That means earlier she was totally fine. That means just before 19 years she was totally fine, but some mishappening had happened, and because of that she was, because of the fever, when she was 19 months old, after that, because of the side effect and all, she became, you can say, deaf and blind. Fine. Now fine, as she grew older, Helen felt a burning desire to speak, and frustrated by her inability, became stubborn and wild. So as she was growing, you can say, older and older, that means growing up, the thing was that she wanted to speak, she wanted to involve with other things also, but because of her you can say disability, or you can say inability, she was unable to do so, and she was getting, you can say, wild, she was getting stubborn, she was getting frustrated with the inability, and she wanted to overcome from these things. Fortunately her parents learned about Perkins Institute for Blind. So finally a ray of hope, okay, came in the life of Helen Keller. So their parents found an institute which, you can say, provide training to the blind people. So the name of the institute was Perkins Institute for the Blind. This institute sent a 20-year-old Annie Sullivan to instruct Helen at home. So from this institute, Perkins Institute, their parents got, you can say, that an instructor named Sullivan, and she was 20 years old. And let's see what happened. She went to her home and she instructed and she trained her for the entire life. Okay, this extract from the autobiography, The Story of My Life, talks about Annie's arrival at Helen's home. So finally, you can say, Helen Keller has she has written an autobiography, okay, in which she informed us, she told us that how she overcome from all disabilities, what kind of problems she faced and all. And the name of the, you can say, the book is The Story of My Life, okay, and in which she talks about the arrival of you can say Sullivan at Helen's home, and how from then on everything acquired new meaning in her life. That means when she came, Okay, then everything started changing itself. Fine, so let's get started what the chapter is all about. Fine. So the most important day I remember in my life is the one on which my teacher Annie Mansfield Sullivan came to me. So she said that you can say that the day was, you can say, totally a drastic change kind of day for her in for her. You can say why, because from that day she changed totally, and she, you can say, appreciated that excuse me, when Sullivan came. Okay, Sullivan, you can say, the teacher, the instructor who came into her life. From that day everything got changed, totally changed. Fine. I am filled with wonder when I consider the immeasurable contrast between the two lives which it connects. So finally, the Helen is saying that it's a, you can say, interface between two lives. That means talking about the Helen herself and the Sullivan. So it was the 3rd March 1887, 3 months before I was 7 years old. So that means that the Sullivan, okay, she came to meet that Helen's at on 1887, 3rd March 1887, and Helen was about to be 7 years old. Fine. Earlier she was, you can say, 6 years and 9 months year old. Fine. Now, on the afternoon of that eventful day, I stood up on the porch, dumb and expectant. So what you can say, what the Helen Keller is saying about that, the eventful day, that means the beautiful day, that means the day which is going to bring changes in her life was about to start. So she was saying that on the afternoon of that eventful day, I stood on the porch, dumb and expectant. That means she was, porch means that, you can say, an open area just outside your house. Fine, the covering a part that so she was waiting, and she was standing over there. Okay, I guessed vaguely means not clearly expressed, from my mother's sign, from the hurrying to and fro in the house, that something unusual was about to happen. That means, mother was busy in doing something, and some unusual, you can say, things are happening in so unusual things were happening in Helen's house. So she was confused that what exactly is happening, and mother is doing some unusual thing. Definitely something is about to happen. I went to the door and waited on the step. The afternoon sun penetrated the mass of honeysuckle that covers the porch and fell on my unturned face. So what happened? What Helen Keller did, she just went to the door, and she was waiting at the doorstep. And what happened, you can say, that afternoon the sun was, you can say, honeysuckle means a kind of sweet smelling twin wine. That means here that means the light that she's getting from the sun was, you can say, quite sweet kind of, that means not too hot kind. Okay, so the sun was about to enter, okay, that the covered porch, and fell, and the rays was falling on the face of the Helen. Fine. My finger lingered almost unconsciously on the familiar leaves and blossom which had just come forth, greet the sweet southern spring. So what she was doing, lingering means, you can say, continue to stay. She was staying there, and she was touching, she was trying to feel that the leaves, because she was blind, and even she was deaf, so she was unable to see the things, she was unable to hear the things. But the thing only that kind of person can do was to, that she can only feel with the help of touch of senses. Fine. So she was, you can say, moving her finger on the leaves, blossoms. Okay, that means the thing she was feeling tell us that the spring, you can say, has arrived, and everything, the flowers, the leaves are welcoming the you can say, spring. I did not know what the future held of the marvel or surprise for me. So here it means that she don't know that the spring had come, but the thing was that the future, that means the upcoming future, is going to create some big moment, you can say, in Helen's life. Excuse me. and that was quite surprise for her. Anger and bitterness has preyed upon me continually for weeks, and a deep languor had succeeded the passionate struggle. Languor means, you can say, lack of physical or mental energy, because she was getting irritated with the things that is happening with her. Okay, and the thing is that the anger, that means anger and bitterness, started overpowering her, and because she was unable to come from the situation that she was dealing with. Okay, so we are having wait. Anger and bitterness had preyed upon me continually for weeks, and a deep languor had succeeded this passionate struggle. That means she was already struggling. That means struggling from the bad situation. That means she was not able to, get involved with the other members and friends and family, and she was really getting irritated and all. And because of the, and even languor means here, what I tell you, lack of physical and mental energy, and she was getting you can say lack from the physical and mental energy, and because of that, what is happening, this her struggle started becoming more and more intense. Now, have you been even at sea in a dense fog? Now Helen is asking a question that have you ever been at sea in a dense fog? Basically what happens when we are having fog, okay, we cannot you can say see throughout it clearly. That means everything started becoming you can say fading kind of thing started happening with us. So have you ever been at sea in a dense fog when it seems as if a tangible white darkness shut you in? So what happened? Tangible means which cannot be touched. So she is saying that you'll start feeling that something bad, darkness, white darkness. That means here the fog is considered to be white darkness, where you cannot touch it, where you cannot see everything throughout the, you can say, throughout the fog. The same thing is happening with her life, that everything is there, but she was unable to overcome from the things. Then tangible white darkness shut you in, and a great ship, tense and anxious, groped her way down to the shore, and plummet and sounding line, and you waited with the beating heart for something to happen. That means we are having an example that the ship is about to come, and you that means the ship, that means her ship is considered to be you can say with full of anxious, tense and all, and you are waiting that you are going to, something will happen. That means something good will happen with you. That means you are waiting for good times to come. I was like that ship before my education began. That means she said that I was like that ship. That means the ship which carries full of you can say frustration, anger, anxious and all, and before my education started I was like the same person. That means here ship is being considered with the person. Okay, then only I was without compass or sounding line, and had no way of knowing how near the harbor was. Okay, so she said that I was just like a compass, without a compass. That means my ship was just without a compass, that I don't know where to move, okay, where the direction is. Okay, so everything was totally directionless. Light, give me light, was the wordless cry of my soul. So the soul, the inner soul of that Helen was crying very deeply. She wanted that please give me light, please give me a direction. I wanted to overcome from this type of situation. I don't want to be a part of, you can say I don't want to let the life which is full of frustration, which is full of anger and like that. Okay, and the light of love shone on me in the way where that so she said that actually finally she got a ray of hope and light. Let's see what it was. I felt approaching footstep. I stretched out my hands as I supposed to my mother. So what happened? She felt that someone is approaching near the footstep, and what happened? Somebody, actually she thought that that must be her mother. What happened? Somebody just stretched out her hand, okay, and someone took it, and I was caught up and held cross in the arm of her who had come to reveal all things to me, and more than all things else to love me. So here the you can say Helen is describing that how when Sullivan came, what incident had happened with her. The morning after my teacher came, she led me into her room and gave me a doll. So finally what happened? Now the classes that the classes, the training started, that begun. Okay, that begun. Now finally what happened, so the class got started, and Miss Sullivan, what she did, she handed over a doll to Helen. Okay, the little blind children at the Perkin Institute had sent it, and the Laura Brideman had dressed it. So we are having one doll, and that was made by whom? By the blind student at the Perkin Institute. And the brideman, okay, what she did, Laura Brideman, what she did, she dressed that doll in a very beautiful way. But I did not know until afterwards. So but the thing is that, you know, that Helen was blind. She had not seen that how doll looks like. So but after that, no, one incident you can say, or you can say something happened. After that, she was able to know that this is known as doll. Okay, when I had played with it little while, Miss Sullivan slowly spelled into my hand the word doll at once. Interested in the finger play and tried to imitate it. So what she did, Miss Sullivan, what she did, she just hold her hand and tried to recognize the spelling, like DOLL, doll. That means how to, because she was deaf, so she was unable to, you can say, hear the things. So the only way through which she can be taught was the use of the senses, the fingers. Okay, the use of the touch. With the help of that, she was teaching that Helen. Fine. And Helen was trying to imitate it. When I finally succeeded in making the letters correctly, I flushed with the childish pleasure and pride. So finally she was able to made that pattern, that means the alphabets DOLL. And when she was able to succeeded in that, making the letters correctly, she was very happy, and she was too happy, just like a small kid does. Running downstairs to my mother, I held up my hand and made the letter for doll. So again what she did, she just went down and she made the words, okay, and showed to her mother. I did not know that I was spelling a word, or even that word existed. I was simply making my finger go in a monkey-like imitation. In the day that followed, I learned to spell in this uncomprehending way a great many words, among them like pin, hat, cup, and a few verbs like sit, stand, and walk. But my teacher had been with me several weeks before I understood that everything has a name. So finally here we are having that how the Miss Sullivan was paying a lot, or you can say paying attention towards that Helen, that she could at least learn something. So she was giving her 200%, and she was using the, you can say, the things which she can. That means because she was dim, okay, and deaf, so she cannot see the things, she cannot hear the things. Only that way in which she can learn was that the use of finger. So after that she learned so many words like sit, stand, then we're having pin, hat, and so many words. That means she started learning the things in a very beautiful way. Fine. So I'll stop here. Rest of the things I'm going to cover in the next video lecture. Fine. So I stopped. I have completed page number 48, 49, and page number 50, the first para. Fine. So please go through the chapter till here and find out the difficult words. Fine. Line by line. So thank you so much.